declare the flag salute. We will salute the flag on the field on that.
Thank you.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we do thank you for many blessings. We thank you for the opportunity to live in such a great country, in such a great state, great city and community. And Lord, we ask you to bless us tonight. Give us a good insight, discernment on decisions we make in the best interest of our city and our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started with tonight's meeting, I'd like to recognize somebody for the long tenured service that they provided to the city of Newcastle. So if I would get John Canary to come down right here.
10 years?
3.5. John is, for those who don't know, John is our street superintendent. Takes care of all the roads. So if you like the roads you drive on, John. If you don't like the roads you drive on, it's John. So we appreciate John. John's been with the city for 25 years, and after 25 years, local municipal league has recognized him as he entered upon his honor roll of service, the name of John Canary, in recognition of 25 years of service to the city of Newcastle. So, John, we appreciate you very much. And thank you for what you do. The suits we wear. I'd like to let everybody know that if the fire department does receive a call this evening, it's going to get really loud in here for a period of time because it does go off in here as well. So don't be super startled if that happens. So thank everybody for bearing with us tonight with the lack of electricity we had at our normal location. Hopefully everything will work out. Hopefully everybody got here that wanted to be here. We did actually convene the meetings, both the Public Works Authority and City Council at the library, and then we adjourned them. Didn't adjourn. We recessed them. Goodness gracious, anything. Recessed them, and so we will reconvene both meetings here at the fire department. So at this time, I will reconvene the November 12th meeting of the Newcastle Public Works Authority. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Carmel.
Here.
Mike Fullerton.
Here.
Gene Reed.
Here.
Kimberly Sutton. Here. Marcy White. Absent.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action on approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and second for approval of the agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Gene Reed.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 3, citizen comments. This is an opportunity for any citizen to comment on any matter related to the city of Newcastle Public Works that is not on the agenda. Might remind any potential speakers that all speakers shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person with only one speaking opportunity. Board members will not respond to comments or questions. The chair may end comment period at his discretion, and prior authorization is required for distribution materials or to approach the board. This time, answer any citizen comment related to the City of Newcastle Public Works. Now, typically, we would take these at the podium and from the podium only, but due to tonight's circumstances, we will take them from the audience. You can sit there and make your comments, but once again, they are limited to 3 minutes per comment, and they are only after being recognized by the chair. So any public comment concerning Public Works? All right. Seeing none, we'll move to item. I'm sorry. If you're on the agenda, it is not. If you're not on the agenda, this is where you speak.
Okay.
So if your item's on the agenda tonight, you will wait to speak when that item is called.
What item do you have?
Well, I'm just Christine Cook. I was here to talk about the water bill.
Is it on the agenda?
What? Yes, it is. Yes, your item number 60. So you may want to come back to see all of them. All All right, seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, consent agenda. Is there any member of the board that would require any item be removed from the consent agenda and addressed individually? All right, item number 4, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second for approval of the consent agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 5, discussion of possible action on any items removed from the consent agenda. No action on that agenda item. Item number 6, discussion of possible action on adjustment of utility accounts. Item number 6A, account number 12-3321-02, at service address of 1321 Brooks Drive, Cheryl Bulmer. Ms. Bulmer or representative present this evening. All right, I'll make a motion to continue this item from the next regularly scheduled meeting. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Motion and second for continuance.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jean Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 6B, account number 07-2317-00, at service address of 4719 Crystal Lake Road, Doug and Kristen Cook. You're up.
I'm here to discuss the water bill. We are being charged for something that never happened. We had a bill come out in February last year saying that we had used $160,000 or 60,000 gallons of water in 1 month. So I called up to the water department immediately after receiving the bill. One of the gentlemen there said we have an active leak. We need to call the leak detect person to come out. We immediately did that. We also had a plumber ready to go in case this leak guy could not find any leaks. He even said our water meter was faulty. He sent a report by email, said Vita. I called Vita this morning and I have that report here. She said she did not put it in my file. So that cost us $325 to have him come out. And he kind of just laughed at us because he was like, "Are you trying to fill up a pond? Like, there's no water anywhere showing that we use that much water." He said that would show itself in our home, outside, running down the street, like an extreme amount of water. And then so you all came out, you removed our old meter, you put in a new meter. That cost us $400. And now we're up to $725 on top of the water bill for something that never occurred. And you can see from our water usage before that February timeline, you could tell that it was off. Like there was 1 month that it only reported us using 1,000 gallons of water, which one of you guys at the water department said that's also crazy. Like you could tell something was clearly wrong. That's my here.
Okay. You never found any leaks, correct?
No.
Okay.
Would you like a report?
Yeah, we would like that to our city clerk, yes. We'll put it in the file. My inclination would be to waive the $400 meter replacement fee and adjust the February 2023 bill down to the average of the prior 12 months. But that's just my thoughts. Hopefully, any other suggestions from council?
February.
Any other comments from council?
I see a spike in August. Is that related to that?
From this August?
Yes.
So we turned the water filter on.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I'm fan.
or thoughts from council?
I support that. Mayor.
I'll make a motion to, waive the $400 meter replacement fee or refund that to the customer and adjust the February 2023 water bill to the average prior 12 months. Motion second for adjusting the utility account.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Item 6C, account number 111-0020-01 at service address 200 Southeast 4th Street, Nancy Dozier. Ms. Dozier or representative present this evening. I make the motion to continue this item to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Motion second for continuance.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Item 60, account number 07-4200-00 at service address 400 Southeast 35th Street, James W. Bailey.
Yeah, I was, had another, I think in August I was here, and I had a break in our water system, which we repaired. Since then, I've had another one, and, after the break, it was a 3-inch ball valve that split down the middle again. So my plumber put a pressure, gauge on the system, and it was only measuring about 115 pounds, which the PVC should handle, but it hasn't. So we went ahead and installed a pressure reducer on our side of the meter to reduce pressure down to 65 pounds in the hopes that we don't have any more of these issues. So I was hoping to get a little relief again with this water.
What was the pressure, 115 pounds?
Excuse me?
Was it 115 pounds pressure?
Yeah, that's what the gauge read. The PVC should be rated for 200.
Yeah. Should have.
And so,
Well, never get complaints with too much water pressure.
yeah, I know. So apparently, but anyway, I mean, I don't know if we just when the installation was done, they got hold of some defective materials or whatever, but we had two of those big 3-inch valves right down the middle, and of course this one occurred at night again. And actually, I called to see if there was work going down. The water pressure was so low, and people called me back and said, no, but you're going about 25,000 gallons an hour. Wow. And it was going underground. Too. I didn't see it. We didn't see it. It was going in the sand.
Yeah. Have we already adjusted the June bill?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I think I have it resolved. I'm not going to waste any more water.
all right. We'll make a motion to adjust the October 2024 bills to the average of the prior 12 months.
Second. Thank you.
Motion second for adjusting the bill account.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 6C, account number 07-2188-01, service address 4404 Southeast 37th Street, John Paul Sumo. Okay. Yes.
John Paul Sumo, Erica Sumo. In June, I noticed a large amount of my account. My account set up for automatic drive, and I noticed a large amount of my account for my water bill. And I called the city of Newcastle and asked them, if something was going on in the neighborhood, because my water bill had jumped up. Normally I pay over $200 a month. It was $630. And they said, no, nothing is going on. But I did remind them that something, they I think we changed up the meter or something in the neighborhood, in my community. And I called and talked to a representative. He came out and took a look at our meter. I had called 4 different plumbers to come out and look at our plumbing, our pipes, and we couldn't find anything else going on with it. And then I talked to a gentleman and they referred me over to a high-tech plumbers, and they came out and they found a hole in one of the pipes. And they had holes in my walls and holes around and everything from the plumber trying to find the leak. But my bill, the highest Yeah, we have prepared since then. But I'm asking to, if you all could reduce this amount, of these bills that have been paid. I think the last month they had, put my account on freeze because I asked them, good, please, because you get $1,300 coming out of my account every single month for a water bill. And, but we haven't prepared, since then. And,
You provided the receipts for the repairs.
yes, I see the receipts here. It cost me $4,000 to fix the repair.
Well, you call several plumbers and.
Yeah, they couldn't find anything. They couldn't find any, I think it was maybe $4,100 for the repair. They couldn't find anything at all, even the,
But they knew the water was flowing.
yeah, they said the meter, I think they said the meter was going back. Quote me on it, I think they said it was going probably about 100 gallons an hour, something like that. Yeah, so there was a lot of water coming out. And so, and I've never had anything like that before. And so, then I called several plumbers come out. They couldn't find the hole. I mean, couldn't find the problem. They put holes in the walls, holes in the ground, trying to find this leak. And, it's a huge number.
Did you get receipts from them? Did they charge you for all that time?
Yes, well, I believe two companies charged me for those coming up for service.
When did you first call the plumbers out?
As soon as I believe it was in June.
And also, you have the date when you have the repair completed?
Yes, sir. I sent that up to Vita. Yes, sir.
I do not know if she was provided the bill.
This was done on.
His repairs, or,
Yeah, it's a big-
well, they did, but she provided a copy.
C22. Should I email this to someone? All right.
If you've already provided that to Vita, that's fine. That's what we need on that. The question I have, typically we don't see one that goes for 5 minutes like this, is why that is concerned. Vita indicated that the water department personnel made several trips to your home to discuss it with you. That there was more than likely a leak on your side of the meter. That's why I'm wondering if you had receipts where you had the plumbers out after that point in time.
Yes, I did.
It's difficult sometimes for them to find those liabilities, especially.
Come away. There's one. I'm gonna give you days. This one is on October 16th is one of them. July 16th.
Yep.
If I have time, yes, okay.
If you can provide those bills, just use them, yep. That would be great. The main concern is typically we see 1 month of high usage before somebody, you know, it gets the correction phase. If you provide documentation that you had plumbers out back in July trying to get this thing taken care of, and that'll give us the ability to adjust back to that day.
Okay. Should I email these to you?
It's
To Vita.
to Vita. You go to Vita's email. If you email it to Vita, that would be good. See that documentation that you did reach out to try to get it corrected when it was first noticed.
And we'll let her know to be expected.
Right now, I will make a motion to adjust the June through October utility, water bills down to the average of the prior 12 months, contingent upon supplying the plumbing receipts for June, July 10th and 16th. Motion second for just for the utility account.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Item number 6F, account number 09-1861-00, it's service address 1861 Northeast 16th Street, Richard Hill. Mr. Hill, a representative of the city.
Richard Hill, 1861 Northeast 16th Street. Kind of in the same boat as the other gentleman there. I had a big water bill, but I didn't have a swimming pool to fill it up. Several thousand gallons of water was charged to me, but I had no idea where it went to. That's the short and sweet of it right there.
And you did get it corrected.
Yeah, I had a plumber come out and city come out and everybody checked it and couldn't find any leaks anywhere.
So there were no leaks whatsoever.
Pardon?
No leaks whatsoever.
No, zero.
We rewalked the city claims excessive water leak tested the main line as well as water line system run inside home. There are no leaks. City meter may have read wrong or meter read on digital reading wrong. There are no leaks on the homeowner's side of the meter. Further information, contact this national permit. So in this instance, Kevin, what is your recommendation?
And what bill was this for? Which month?
This would be for the August and September months.
And October was fine, I guess.
Pardon?
Was the October bill back to normal?
Yeah, the October bill is back there.
No, there's $400 bill 1 month and then a $300 bill next month. It overlapped each other is what it done.
But then went back to 83, so what about that?
Yeah, nearly 80,000 gallons of water somewhere. I have no idea where it's at.
2 months.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Do you know if they changed the master meter?
No. They put new one in it, but that's all they've done.
They put a meter in
Yes, one of those electronic meters.
before or after the before these charges.
I haven't heard anything on this one, but I would, if council wants to go ahead and approve an adjustment, or let me approve the adjustment administratively after speaking with the water department. Just give me direction on what to.
Since it's back down, I think we can go ahead and take over the city and get it taken care of. And
I want to know what.
if you look into it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make a motion to adjust the August and September bills to the average of the prior 12 months.
Second.
Motion second for adjustment of utility account.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Item number 7, discussion of possible action appointments of Mark Woody and Kendrick Wealth of Ameriprise Financial as advisors of record for the city of Newcastle and the FDA retirement savings plans.
UBS, who was our advisor of record, they basically got out of the business, and this kind of left the city hanging, for lack of a better term. Mark Woody and Kendrick Wealth, they came recommended by our TPA. Frank, last name?
Mario.
Mario. Came highly recommended by our TPA. We met with Mr. Woody and some of his staff a couple of weeks ago, and staff is recommending to go ahead and select him as our advisor, which something else that is a lot better. This firm, he's right there in Norman. Our last one was actually out of Texas.
Questions, council? Seems like city staff wants it, so entertain a motion.
Make a motion for item 7, appoint Mark Woody as Kendall Wealth as Minnesota Financial Advisor for that PWA retirement savings account.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 7.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 8, discussion of possible action on approval of agreement for engineering services, inspection and construction administration with Lynn Sullivan Associates Inc. for construction of 24 sanitary sewer line from the existing wastewater treatment facility to the new headquarters facility.
The construction management and the inspections it's been ongoing since they have been laying both lines out there. With Sullivan's, usually Sullivan's provides a separate contract for inspection services, construction management. And apparently he didn't get that put together before the construction began on this line. Everything was approved, but he has been doing work out there, overseeing it and inspecting both of lines. Now, I think basically he said at 1%. His cost would be basically 1% of total cost of the line. Both lines separately are less than $10,000. I think one of the lines I calculated is like $7,900.
Any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve item 8.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 8.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 9, discussion of possible action on approval of agreement for engineering services, inspection and construction administration with Lynn Sullivan Associates Inc. for construction of an 18-inch sanitary sewer line from the wastewater treatment facility east along Northeast 16th Street to the Canadian River.
This is the same thing. It's just the for this one, this is just the different line.
I think you're 24, you do 18, so I'll make a motion to approve item 9.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 9.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 10, discussion of possible action on scheduling meeting place, dates, and times for regular meetings of the Newcastle Public Works Authority for calendar year 2025.
Place?
Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize we had to decide the place that we're going to do. The place,
Yeah.
I think we'll
So
not.
that we don't come down here and meet.
I noticed you circled the actual date of the council meeting. Since I missed one almost one time, you catch me. If that was from my sake, I appreciate it. It's good to meet you.
Second Monday with the exception of October, which is on Tuesday due to Columbus Day.
On November.
Not November Day.
And is the place, is the site already reported here, do we need to?
It's reported, it's in the 705 North Second Street.
I have a document. I follow.
Okay, very good.
Secretary.
So I make, so just need to approve item 10.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve item 10.
A second.
Motion is second for approval item number 10.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jean Reed.
Yes.
Carl Newell.
Yes. Item number 11, monthly treasurer's report.
This report is over October 2024, of course. And at this point, the annual execution is 33.3%. Starting off with general fund, revenues are sitting at 33.6%. Expenses are sitting at 33.4%. So both of those are within our expected places to be in the budget. For the partners in general government, everybody's operating where we kind of expected them to be. There were a couple of departments that we had to look into the budget reports needed to be maxed really high. Those are due to one-time big purchases or upfront annual costs. But other than that, everybody's where we need to be. The capital improvement tax fund revenues are 32.7%. Expenses are only sitting at 14.7%. This budget, of course, includes our roads and bridges, so that is progressive even throughout the year. So the revenues are within our budget expectations, but this is our number. On the EPWA side of the house, revenues are sitting at 36%. Expenses are sitting at 34.9%. Revenues are slightly ahead of the budget amount, while the expenses are where we want them to be. The EPWA departments are all operating where we want them to be. The fire department's tax fund has brought in 61% of what we've spent so far this year on our operations in the fire department at $446,000. We spent $747,000. Our two OWRD voluntary construction was paid $4 for the year. Our total for that project right now for the location report is $20. For this our treatment facility, we paid 14 draws, and our total of that project right now is $27,200,000. For the month of October, so the new tax came in at $139,000, $711,000 of that was sales, $128,000 was used. This puts us at the end of the month, this puts us 2.1% below where we budgeted to be for selling the tax. We are 1.5% higher than in the month of October last year, then the total W for October is 9.6 lower than our current indebtedness is now sitting at a little over $43 million. That again goes into the RV loans that we have in the construction phase. And a couple of notes that we just that I want to make sure specifically mention is we made the last payment for that line of service that I approved some months ago. The vendor did contact them, they have not been paid, and come find out that $36,000 had been intercepted by somebody in the works, not cashed by the First thing I did was, then I $2,000. Grant cost share fund is $2.6 million. Transportation impact fee fund is $74,000. City hall fund is $24,000. And the exact amount of those opioid abatement funds are $8,550. NPWA fund balances are as follows: $2.3 million for public works. Water impact fee fund is $904,000. Wastewater impact fee is $877,000. Wastewater plant fund is almost $8 million now, and our meter fund is $277,000. All funds combined were almost $3 million. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Gene. Number 12, general manager's comments.
Speaking along the lines of the opioid funds, there are multiple uses that have been approved for that funding can be used for. So we'll be bringing back a list of those, council, and see what you would like to use those funds for, and see if we'll get a program in place. I wasn't going to mention that, as Jeannie asked me about before, but there is a little bit of ARPA money left over that we had in our balances. Now, did you ever find out the exact amount?
Not for certain.
Okay. We're still checking on the exact amount that is left over in that, but we'll probably come back to council on that and actually use that for the water line materials on Southwest 24th Street to offset that cost to us. Had a little bit of an issue with the current sewer plant over the weekend again. It backed up on us, wasn't keeping up, and they discovered today that there was a 204 with rags wrapped around it that made it into the system and actually got jammed up inside the pump. Had to tear it down, and that they found a 204 stuck up in there that was wrapped with rags. So that's working again. They finally got all that fixed.
How long are they looking for?
He did say, and I was afraid to ask.
Yeah.
We have found tree limbs 4 or 5 foot long that's been stuck down in a manhole, come down through the system. But there's constantly rags, red rags, shop rags, things of that nature. We've seen a lot of stuff that's come from the car wash up there on Main Street. That has stopped now that place isn't running, but we were getting a lot of stuff from that car wash into the system. But that's back up and running. The sewer plant, the new sewer plant, we're still on track. We actually have a meeting with them tomorrow again, an update meeting that we have monthly. And everything is just moving along great out there. I'm sure the flooding rains here a week or so ago slowed them down again, but it doesn't seem to, I mean, there can be mud on the ground out there, but it doesn't seem like just a couple of days and they're back at it and at it hard. So, and we've also got a meeting tomorrow morning, I believe at 10 o'clock with Wall Engineering to start the discussions on the Tri-City sewer line that council approved for them to engineer. Supposed to meet with a bunch of his staff tomorrow and get them rolling on that project to engineer that line. I think that's pretty much it. A few things.
Thank you, sir. Item number 13, trustees' comments. Item number 14 is adjournment.
Make a motion for adjournment.
Okay.
Motion second for adjournment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
You're welcome to say, you're not allowed to say, but I'll go you somebody. Got hit up crap there now.
Well, that's great. All right, this time we'll reconvene the Tuesday, November 12th meeting of the Newcastle City Council. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Carl Nell.
Here.
Mike Fullerton. Here. Jean Reed.
Here.
Kimberly Sutton. Here. Marcy White, absent.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action on approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Motion second for approval of the agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jean Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 3, citizen comments. This is an opportunity for any citizen to comment in any matter related to the city of Newcastle that is not on the agenda. I remind any potential speakers that all speakers shall clearly state their name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person with only one speaking opportunity. Council members will not respond to comments or questions that may mayor may in comments period at his discretion and prior authorizations required for distribution of materials or to approach the council. This time, is there any citizens' comments related to the city of Newcastle? Seeing none, move to item number 4. Is there any item any member of the on the consent agenda, any member of council desires to be removed and addressed individually? Seeing none, item number 4, consent agenda.
Wonder if you just opened the door.
Yeah, open it.
Open the door.
There we go. Again, item number 4, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second for approval of the consent agenda.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 5, discussion of possible action on any items removed from the consent agenda. Being action on the agenda item. Item number 6, discussion of possible action on recommendation of planning commission. Item 6A, public hearing discussion of possible action on application rezoning from E1 suburban estate residential to E2 urban estate residential for Shelby and Bill Wilson and James L. Wilson, located in the northeast quarter of section 23, township 9 north, range 4 west, McLean County, Oklahoma, adoption ordinance number 984, property address 709 South Portland, Newcastle, Oklahoma, case number R 2024-011.
Community Council tonight, Greenlee with the Newcastle Planning Department. This request is from Mr. James Wilson, who's the owner at 709 South Portland Avenue. It's for approximately 2.03 acres. Is a request for rezoning from E1 Suburban Estate Residential District to E2 Urban Estate Residential District. As you can see on the screen on the left-hand side is an aerial view or on the sites here. There is a single-family house, and they would like to divide this lot. In E2 is the 1 acre minimum lot area. The surrounding zoning in the middle of the screen, you've got E1 and E2 to the south, and to the west is ag. This is for the Newcastle 2040. It is designated as a suburban residential. There is no requirement for an update to the comprehensive plan or future land use map. They request this rezoning for potential future lot split with the 1 acre requirement. Staff does recommend approval, and Planning Commission recommended approval with a vote of 5-0. I'm happy to answer any questions. The applicant is here as well.
Any questions or comments from council? Is there a public comment concerning this agenda item? All right, here's a motion.
Move to approve item 6A.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 6A.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 6B, discussion of possible action on adoption of emergency clause, ordinance number 984.
Move to approve item 6B.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 6B.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Gene Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 6C, discussion of possible action on amendment to chapter 153, subdivisions, section 153.0125 APs, establishing fee for subdivision engineering plan review and adoption of ordinance number 985.
Council, this is a ordinance amendment to chapter 153.012 for the filing fees for the final plat and all of the improvement plans. So right now, we only have the final plat charge, is a $500 filing fee, and the amendment will allow us to charge for each set of improvement plans that it would receive with that final plat. As you know, when we have plat review, especially with final plats, water plans, sewer, paving, drainage study, and the hydraulic analysis report are all reviewed and are reviewed several times. So we take comments and the back of the engineering firm, they revise, they
send it back to us, and then we have to re-review, and sometimes this transition can go on 2 or 3 times. The time spent on that is really not recouped with the final plat filing fee. That filing fee gets us the application and reviewing that initial final plat and through city council and, or through planning commission and city council. That's the basis of this ordinance amendment. Surrounding, communities that we looked at, Blanchard does reduce their costs through a third-party engineer. More charges $150 per improvement set. Norman, the first and second, reviews are no cost, but then the third and the frequent reviews are charged by the linear foot for each one of the improvements. Yukon has a tiered fee. 1 acre or less is $400, and then greater than 10 acres is $175 per acre. It's kind of tiered there. Piedmont has a $250 per hour with a minimum of 4 hours. So that's kind of an idea of what surrounding communities do. Right now, we don't have anything except the final plat filing fee plus the $5 per lot. I'm happy to answer any questions. We do recommend, staff recommends approval, and planning commission made recommendation with a vote of 5-0.
Now, we've talked about this over the years, and I'm glad that we're finally, that's the cost of the city. And, I'm not saying it's not an incentive to do it right, but that's an incentive to get it right, because it's a little bit cost to, at least share the cost. So I'm glad to see this.
Public comment on this agenda item? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve item 6C.
Second.
Motion second for approval item number 6C.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jean Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 6B, discussion and possible action on adopting emergency clause 47985.
Motion to approve item 6D.
Motion second for approval of item number 6D.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jean Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 6E, discussion and possible action on approval of preliminary plat of Blue Ridge South and replat of Common Area A and Common Area B of Blue Ridge Estates Phase 1.
This preliminary plat is for Blue Ridge South. That is just west of the existing Blue Ridge neighborhood, phase 1 and 2, and future 3. This request is for the Shaw's Investment Group. They're the owners. The developer, Crafton Hall, is their engineers. This is located west of Blue Ridge Avenue and southeast 44th Street. It's approximately 12.63 acres. It will be 13 lots. The rezoning has already been approved for the E3 district. So each lot does contain at least 27,000 square feet for single family lots. The drainage requirements through the preliminary plat, everything has been met and submitted by the applicant and their engineer. There was discussion about the pad sites. There is a oil and gas easement that they are working on, that I believe the representative is here to report to that. But each pad site located on the preliminary plat on each lot is drawn out to show that the buildable area and the location can meet the requirements for the E3 zoning. These will all be served by on-site individual private sanitary sewer septic systems. They will utilize an 8-inch water line that's existing right now along Blue Ridge Avenue, and there is a 6-inch water line along Southeast 44th. They are requesting a variance to 153.086 for upgrading that to 12-inch on section line roads. That's a requirement, but they only have one lot that will be served by that 6-inch on Southeast 44. So staff recommends that variance. All lots will access Blue Ridge and Southeast 42nd Street, except the one lot that is directly abutting on Southeast 44. There is also a variance request for the E3 requirement for curb and gutter, because Blue Ridge, the entire preliminary plat in the first 2 phases have been built with barges, and the existing houses on the east side of Blue Ridge Avenue also contain barges right now, so staff recommends that variance as well. Staff recommends approval of this preliminary plat and the replat of common area A and B of Blue Ridge Phase 1, and the planning commission made recommendation with a vote of 5-0. I'm happy to answer any questions.
This is the one that maybe we discussed the zoning a month or 2 ago.
Right.
Goes on right on the west side of that north step street.
If I could, Carl, I'd throw in that as you can see on the diagram or the plat for this, there are some pretty steep slopes in this, and they've laid out the proposed home sites. And while they're going to take some significant fill on a couple of them, that was discussed with the applicant's engineers, and they indicated they discussed those factors with the developer. And while it will take some special care on the pads, they indicate that they're certainly buildable with shaping and builder. I hope they put some piers in, but that we didn't make a requirement for that at this stage. We'll see that in final platting, maybe, and address that issue some more then. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say, and Janae mentioned this, the oil and gas easement going across there is an inactive line, and they're working to get it released.
Is there any public comment concerning this agenda item? So I will make a motion to approve agenda item 6E, including a variance for the water line sizing and also a variance from the curb and gutter requirement.
Do we have this also, I'm kind of worried about, we've had several issues with park issues being filled in the past. How are we going to verify that this is going to happen here as well?
These will be private drainage easements, so they have to maintain them, and our ordinance also states that barges are the homeowner's responsibility to maintain along with their inventory. So if they do fill them, they're required to be at that 4-to-1 slope. Staff goes out and tells the homeowner that they need to restore the barge to the proper slope to clean out the 10-1, and they make sure that as new houses are being built, that won't happen. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of housing or lots, I say lots, but they end up putting a 10-1 across the whole front of the lot. I mean, move. That part is not going to have problems with our streets, which I realize it's not a street, but in future districts. So, I mean, it's interesting issue that we have to continue to go.
If I may, Louis Paul, to answer your question, we did provide a culvert schedule for development, so our client doesn't know that we will not be able to fill in barges there, and also the grade is pretty steep there, so there won't be any issue with them filling in the existing barges.
Do we need a second on that?
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 6E with conditions. Or variances, excuse me.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton. Yes. Jane Reed.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item 6F, public hearing discussion of possible action approval of application for use permitted review for conditional use permit regarding the commercial disposal for Patsy Ann McMahon, trustee of the One Acre Family Trust, Charter of Production Company LLC, SWD number 1, located in the southwest quarter of section 27, township 9 north, range 4 west, Indian Meridian, McLean County, Oklahoma. Property location approximately 1/4 mile west of the intersection of South 24th and State Highway 62, the north on Leach Road and right of the Y to the existing location, Newcastle, Oklahoma, UPR number 2024-003.
This application is for Charter Oak Production Company for a UPOR for conditional use permit for commercial saltwater disposal well. As you can see on the left-hand side, this screen is an aerial. This is a pad site here. Surrounding land uses and zoning is basically agriculture and large lot, single family. It is designated as mixed-use residential, commercial, and the future land in the Newcastle 2040 comprehensive plan and future land use map. A land use map amendment is not required for this application. Oil and gas setback requirements are 300 feet from the wellbore to adjacent property line, 460 feet from the edge of the pad site to any protected uses, and 660 feet from the wellbore to any protected uses. This is the site. On the left-hand side of your screen, staff did measurements with our GIS measurement tool. The green highlights the 300-foot requirement. For our measurement purposes, which is not survey quality, we're coming up with about approximately, which matches what the applicant submitted as well, is 371 feet from the wellbore to the nearest property line, which would be to the west. The orange is the 460-foot requirement. We come up with about 307 feet for that measurement, and the red is the wellbore to protected use, 469 feet. The applicant did receive their order from the Oklahoma Corporation Commission granting them the use for the site for the commercial saltwater disposal well. Discussion at Planning Commission was regarding most of the disposal well will be pumped, and any of the saltwater disposal is not going to be a lot of trucks coming in. It's going to be pipelined in. That was one discussion point. We did not receive any protests. We have not received any written protests for this this item. Either by I have not received any calls regarding this as well. We moved this forward to Planning Commission without a recommendation due to the fact that it didn't meet 2 of the 3 requirements for the setback. Went before Planning Commission, and a motion was made. The motion failed for recommendation with a vote of 2-3. I'm happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here as well.
So, based on the setbacks, it would require us to use the applicable variance in our ordinance for this approval.
That's correct. Yes, in Chapter 113, it does allow, I brought it up this evening, it allows council to go vary that down to 250 feet. And this, all the protected uses are well over that requirement. So what those setbacks that you're looking at, the 307, the 469, you know, are above that 250 feet. City council does have the power to make that adjustment.
Mr. Mayor, could I make one comment on the vote at the Planning Commission meeting? I would note that the members who voted against the motion to recommend approval did so noting that they were making a personal opinion vote and expected the matter to be passed at the city council, because we had a discussion of what legal rights we had. but they were basically expressing personal opinions and acknowledged that they were with their vote. So, well, the planning commission brings to you a personal opinion of the majority of the members that they did not like disposal wells in general. It was not anticipated that this would be a bar to your approval if you want to.
There's a couple of things here. One is that this was an existing vertical well that was approved under our old ordinance. And so it is an existing location. In the past, for additional oil wells, we have basically allowed that one existing pad location. However, if we look at this under our existing ordinance at the time as well approved, that ordinance also disallowed any disposal wells in the city limits of the city of Newcastle. So that is not something that I believe our council feels like would stand up in the court of law. We can't. And I think the Stillwater case pretty much showed that we cannot exclude things from the city limits. Is that right, Jeff?
That's right. And the legislature, when they passed the bill in 2015, amending Title 52, 137.1, limited pretty severely what type of regulatory authority that cities have. I know when I first came to work here with you guys, you were going through a study of that statute and you talked about all those areas of regulation. Disposal wells was not one of those that the city has the right to regulate. That's all the corporation commission. That's why we required them to go to the corporation commission to make their application there. And I understand that was a pretty robust process. And now that's been granted. So the question about whether or not we can allow or prohibit disposal wells is not one for our city council. That's a corporation commission question. And I think that's what was. That was some of the discussion at the planning commission. I think there was a strong feeling that by several planning commission members that they just didn't want any commercial disposal. And so that's not an area for us to make. But we can regulate setbacks. We can regulate traffic. We can regulate noise. We can regulate odor. There's kind of a list in the statute of areas we can regulate. So, as Janae mentioned, we do have these setbacks, which really primarily set up for producing wells, not necessarily disposal wells, but they're still there. But there's also a section that gives some latitude for the city council to vary or release some of the pressure on those setbacks if you feel like that's appropriate. If it's a type of well, for example, a disposal well versus a fracking well or a producing well, the noise, the inconvenience, all those things are significantly different in that situation. So it gives some latitude to the council to make that decision. Now, if it was less than 250 feet, under the ordinance, you would have to get approval of the property. But I think the distances, as Renee pointed out here, will all be within the 250 feet. And we still have nothing protests.
Well, the uniqueness of this is the well is already in place, right?
The board is.
The board's already in place. So,
and with the pipe, with the majority of the disposed water, produced water being piped in, that limits the impact significantly. And I also not mention this, it's in the pipe, that there was a protest filed by the Chickasaw Foundation new health facility that they're building adjacent to this property. And the applicant worked with the nation and the corporation commission in order to get lowered pressures, and to the point that the nation was in agreement with the approval by the corporation commission. So that also benefits the city and benefits the landowners that are adjacent to this with the lower pressures and some things that make it less impactful to the area than it would have been had they not gone through that process.
I feel a pretty strong conviction to not make the adjustment now that we change the minimum setback. And I still hold strong to that for any new applications, because once we do one, how could we say no to it? In my mind, this was different because the board was already there, and it would be, it's not gonna be practical to drill another hole just to make 100 feet for us. So, I would like not to make an adjustment other than, in my mind, this was kind of grandfathered in, you might say, because of where it is now, it's been there, so I feel like I could support it, but I'm really reluctant to, and I think I can support it without us. Would we really have to make an exception to our setbacks on that board, since it's already there?
I think it would be cleaner if we did it that way. I don't think it's required. However, I don't know what just thoughts are on that.
No, I think you can look at it a couple of different ways. I think the way Councilmember Reed is thinking about it, is a prior approved pad site with a prior approved, well bore. And I think that's an okay way to look at it. I think under existing ordinance language though, particularly since we modified the ordinance, since that pad site well bore was put in there, it would be my recommendation we follow the current language that's in the ordinance. It would be just acknowledge that the council has discretion under section 113.067 to vary or modify those setbacks to a distance not less than 250 feet without property limits. And that gets you, and it's language that's consistent in the ordinance, your current ordinance.
Noise over $100.
These are electric down pumps. You wouldn't even know that they were running. You can't fence down the way
I guess I heard some disposal wells are pretty noisy as the food is going down.
Well, the only noise you're going to hear out there is against electric pumps, which would be no more, I guess, wouldn't produce any more noise than a rod pumping unit that will be out here. In fact, it's probably a lot.
Is there going to be food coming from somewhere else or anything being trucked in?
Most likely, any water that would be brought in, if it was trucked in, it would be water that's produced here locally, because one of the big cost bearing outcomes if you produce oil, you produce water, and anytime you have to truck it over a large distance, you are incurring a lot of costs. And as it stands right now, for wells in this immediate area, you have to go more than 14 miles one way, which has $3 per barrel in trucking and disposal fees, which makes development in this area, pretty challenging economically. Which is why, we look to put in the Charter Oaks water will be pipelines, so we're eliminating all trucking. As it stands right now, I don't have any contracts to take any third-party water. We likely will, but again, that's going to be water that's going to be trucked from this community, basically from this community, more or less. I can't see anybody wanting to come in where they have to drive more than 10 miles one way, but to the extent that somebody makes that decision, that's their economic decision, not mine.
Do have questions on that myself, Mayor. If it's going to be trucked in primarily from local wells here in the area, has there been any discussion then about routes? Because it sounds like to me trucks are going to be on our city roads a lot.
Well, in all fairness, those trucks are on the road currently. So our routes that we proposed was off of Highway 62 on 24th into our locations, 4 miles.
In this instance, did you discuss it all, or did you discuss all the roads you see, which is typical with our existing wells, or new wells?
Yes, they would annual fee, the road usage fee, and the permit fee. And they did supply a truck route fee, which is to, and it's in the packet. The truck route.
Truck route off of Main Street.
So all trucks coming in third party would come from 62 to 24th Street.
That is what we would, yes, that would be the route that we supply to anybody else that would.
I mean, we passed that on cars from 76 or trucks
Sure.
coming from 76 all the way down 24th Street. That'd be my.
My assumption is that that's what we will do. I mean,
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up.
If I could, in
Three
the,
of those trucks are gonna be coming from whatever routes you have from those locations. So, you know, they have to go, however they are supposed to exit their well pad, they'll have to follow those routes. And that means they have to get to the nearest highway and drive around. Again, it's hard for me to make any sort of statements to this because I don't have any agreement to take any third-party water, so all that would be speculative at best at this point.
But if you did make an agreement to accept third-party water, they would be provided with the allowable route to the disposal.
We would provide that they would need to access from 62 on 24.
I think you'll have to include other route. I mean,
yeah, 130.
yeah, depending on where they're coming from. You can't say 62 and 24 if they're coming straight down 24. Or if they're coming down 16 or wherever that well is located. They could potentially take a direct route and go through our city streets. We would want to ensure that it's state highway as far as they can go.
It may have a condition that you give it.
Mhm.
And then any third party, truck in disposal well, saltwater would have to adhere to that truck route, even if it's another, operator in a different location and they have their own approved truck route, anything disposal wise, if they were gonna do that, that they would have to go to 62 and then 24. I also wanted to mention, I left that out, that there was a session at planning commission about the annual reports that are supposed to be provided, and that they will also supply the city with a copy of that annual report as well. From the Board Corporation Commission. Yeah, that they have their yearly reports that then we would be able to have a copy of that report as well.
Do we have any other chemicals other than oil related coming into that?
If I might, the answer to that's no.
Please state your name and
I'm
address.
sorry, my name is Paul Trimble, I'm attorney in Oklahoma City, do some work for and if I might, Mayor, just what you're going to stand, pretty happy to Jeff Stanley. It's a good one. But there are a couple of points that have been made. I would like to point to which you made. Let's look at the ordinance themselves. There's really posted up there on what the setback is. But I want to encourage us to look at the actual language of our ordinances, of the ordinances of the forest. I'm speaking specifically now to a couple of points that I need to make before I make this. There is undeniably a well. There was a UP award granted in 2011 and a well drilled in 2011, a Juanita well. There is a well in place. And so there will be no drilling activity. There will be no completion activity. We are not talking about that. The setback language, when you look at the actual language of the statute, and I'm referring specifically now to section 113.067. We might something up there on the screen, but the preface to that is when we're talking about setbacks, the language is no well shall be drilled or put down for production of oil or gas or injection of produced fluids at any point less than what the 2018 setbacks now say. So it's clearly contemplating a drilling activity. Drilling, looking back the language of the ordinance, drilling is a defined term. So I'm now looking at section 113.001, and drilling being defined there as the process by which the earth is bored to create a pathway to formations containing hydrocarbons to allow for their production to the surface. That happened back in 2011. activity, which necessarily is tied to the setback, which contemplates the drilling that occurred back in 2011. When that well was drilled in 2011, it absolutely 100% complied with setback requirements. Also, another ordinance that I would commend to you is, and I believe that this may address a question you had asked earlier, and I'm now referring to section 113.065. What that says is, and I'm looking at paragraph D of that, and again, these are our ordinances which the law requires to be interpreted according to their plain language. And what paragraph D says is, for subsequent wells placed upon a previously approved drilling and production site, the setback requirements concerning the additional wells will mirror those in place at the time the original well was approved for that drilling and production site. So we have a well that's drilled back in 2011 that complied with the then existing setback requirements. It's that very well that we're using for this commercial disposal well here. So again, the notion there that we could move into this location, sand or rig up with 120-foot mast and drill a 3-mile lateral with 65 stages completion, according to land to that. But that we couldn't just operate a disposal well using a currently existing well using electric motors. That is counterintuitive to me. So again, I think the plain language of the statute does not impose the current setback requirement on us. Again, the current setback requirement in 2018, this well was drilled in 2011 and is in all respects compliant with the 2011 setback requirements. I'd also, and this is slightly presumptuous on my part, but the setback requirements, and again, my apologies for sounding somewhat presumptuous here, but I think that was related to noise. That was noise. When a well's drilled, it's noise like that. It's not. We've got electric motors here operating this disposal well that has been drilled. So, respectfully, I don't think, and I would respectfully disagree with this, that the ordinance require this variance, but the ordinances likewise do not in any way impact our ability to operate this disposal well. Now, I'm compelled to, and perhaps I'm leading my chin here just a little bit, talking to this panel, that this is a question that is exclusively within the jurisdiction of the Corporation Commission. As Brian alluded to this, the Corporation Commission has addressed this issue and has absolutely green-lighted this. There was opposition. I want to spend a little time getting into that. There was a protest out there. The Some Nation protested it, but that was resolved, and there was an order allowing the operation of this disposal. If I might, this was a question that Commissioner Chairman Harness asked me the last time. I think this Greenlee alluded to it earlier. I was prepared to partially address this question. He asked the question if there were any reporting requirements that had to be made to the Corporation Commission. I can answer that question. Yes, there were reporting requirements, and I was ill-equipped to address exactly what those reporting requirements are. The reason I do this now is I don't want anybody here thinking that it's our position that, hey, we've got this order, we can go do whatever we want to. There is an entire chapter of the Oklahoma Administrative Code that governs disposal, and it has full testing requirements, it has full reporting requirements, it has full monitoring requirements. The report that I wish I would have been equipped to address specifically with Commissioner Harness the other night was, what is that report? The report is report 1020, and what it does is it is a report that is filed with penalty of perjury that requires the commercial well operator to report monthly disposal volumes, disposal pressures, to ensure that those volumes and pressures are in accordance with the order that has been issued by the Corporation Commission, giving Charter, in this case, the authority to operate this commercial disposal. So, if again, the question is, and I should have been better but the OCC has exclusive jurisdiction over this issue, and they absolutely exercise that exclusive jurisdiction by requiring the operator to make these reports. And the report is 41012, it requires monthly production volumes, monthly pressure volumes. It requires
It's exactly what the note states, formation, it absolutely ensures the formation into which the disposal occurs. It absolutely identifies the packer depth, where packers sit in the well, the integrity of the well, all of that are reports that Charter Oak, as the operator of this, will have to get to the corporation commission. The reason I wanted to highlight that is it is not our position that, hey, we have a commission to order, now we can do whatever we want. No, we are under the jurisdiction of the corporation commission. This is they exercise that jurisdiction. There is a mechanical integrity test because it's a commercial disposal well. Mechanical integrity test will have to perform every year on this well to ensure that this well is performing as it is. So there is very explicit and very fulsome requirements at the Oklahoma Corporation Commission that are a part of the Corporation Commission's exclusive jurisdiction over this issue. And sorry, make sure I'm not making this up. The statute is 17 OS section 52, which specifically provides, and if I might, just I don't want to overstate this, I don't want to understate it. What the statute provides is, except as otherwise provided by this section, the Corporation Commission is hereby vested with exclusive jurisdiction, power, and authority with reference to, and takes off several things. D is the exploration, drilling, development, production, and operation of wells used in connection with the recovery, injection, or disposal of mineral lines. It is exclusively legislatively delegated to the Oklahoma Corporation Commission. I'm almost done here, but if I could spend a little bit of time on the specific order that was granted here, because it is significant. So chronologically, there were 4 days, I believe, of hearings, coincidentally about this time last year. There was an order entered in February 2024, Your Honor, Judge Lindeform, I believe, granted the relief requested by Charter Oak. It was appealed, and there were, I think it's important to know, we talked about this at planning commission meeting, there were concessions made after that order was issued because the Chickasaw Nation appealed that. And we dialed back on the pressures that we would operate this well at, and we likewise dialed back on the volumes we used. So there were concessions made because of the Chickasaw Nation being exercising its right under the OAC to protest there, to object to it. So after that, there were significant concessions made, and there was ultimately an order that was entered by the commission. Again, if I might, it's significant for me to say this because my point is I really want the council to understand that the commission has jurisdiction. It has jurisdiction, but I'm not using that kind of as a sword. I'm using that as, hey, we have a lot to comply with the commission. What that order said is, among other things, the reason the relief should be granted. They said, should be mentioned, there was fulsome hearing, there was engineering testimony on both sides. The Chickasaw Nation had an engineer, very well respected engineer in town. Charter Oak had a very well respected engineer in town. What they did agree upon was the well was a suitable well for disposal. There was no issue. Both engineers agreed with that. Both engineers likewise agreed that the disposal interval was appropriate for disposal. So there are just a couple of points in the order that I want to make. To answer the question you had asked earlier, types of fluid to be disposed. This is an order this is part of the order. Produced water. So it's produced water that will be disposed to. The base of the treatable water is what the commission had said is 800 feet, or and its opposition is that's a little deep. That's deep, but nevertheless, that's what we're complying with. The disposal interval is the Cisco and Hotspur formation. That's at 5,300 feet. So the delta between where we're disposing this and the base of the treatable water based on commission factors is what is that? That's 4,300 feet. Is that right? The map right there. 45. So again, all things that the commission required Charter Oak to make a showing of before they issued this order. And
And the order ultimately that was entered, it granted the relief. Again, concessions were made on the volumes, concessions were made on the pressures, but it was based on the evidence that was presented to them, and the commission bond, which is not, if that's something that should be alluded, it wasn't administrative law, it was through corporation measures. So again, I've been quiet now, but I did want to address a couple of questions that were raised, probably raised during the planning commission meeting, when I was not able to answer. I knew that a form was required, but I did not know exactly the content of that form. I've done some research in it. It's a fulsome form. I've also done some research on the testing requirements, the annual testing requirements, which are going to have to address as a corporation. So, respectfully, we do have a significant point of departure on the ordinances, but we think this issue is a corporation. So,
the only concerns are, 2015 law, is regulate road use, traffic noise, and odor incidents. These are the concerns that I have, and following the law, the state law. My questions, about the noise, because I've heard before, them get disposal wells, but springers, and the pumps pumping it, the pure noises from through the pipes. I've heard, I don't want truck backed up on 24th Street when people's trying to get by. And that's the other concerns out there, bring that up now. Especially when you say you don't have a third party right now, but there could be a third party. So how are we going to address those if that happens? That's one of the questions I had. You did have a couple of storage on this property to stack in trucks until they can download their fluids. The noise, you got neighbors 250 feet from that. We have 70 decibel. That's only during, as you say, drilling and fracking at that time, and then it climbs down quite a bit. So that's why I'm still kind of concerned with the noise that can come through. I haven't seen one of these in person. I've only heard statements on, and that's what I'm having to deal with. And I have neighbors who are going to call me or direct my council members here complaining about the noise. We got an issue then. And that's why I'm asking this question, how we can contain that noise, the traffic, and the damage done to the road, because yes, we do have what I told you about the bill that allows cities to recoup some of that from the GP3 tax, but we are not guaranteed that.
well, Mr. Ketchins may jump in here, but I'm certainly not prepared to make concessions now, but we recognize the importance of data. We've been around for a long time too. We recognize the importance of that. I think the installation of electric motors is, I think, going to alleviate a lot of those concerns. There are other things that I think Charlotte would be consider, but I'm not prepared to make those concessions now. But we do understand the importance of being a good neighbor. We've been doing it for a while.
I mean, we have trucks, we've had trucks in the past that entered into oil well sites, not y'all's, somebody else's. They entered into oil well sites that, literally 24/7, and they were just literally was going crazy over their lives, the truck noises, just in those senses. And I get them and I feel for them. But again, the Corporation Commission, we kind of took everything away from the city to control in that sense. But we do have a notice, and I think it could be an instance. I feel like it could be an instance. I don't know what the guys' operation is going to be. I haven't heard.
I don't know the answer to that either. As I sit here, I do know that the infrastructure is in place to handle shorter water, so necessarily we will be a reduction in trucks. Right. And I appreciate that. And I stress it in place to, I think Mr. Ketchins alluded to the perfect model, but it's admittedly it's fake. The perfect model is the infrastructure that other producers out there would tie into, and also tie into the charter. That's the economic the decrease in road usage will be. I think that necessarily it is trucks who are already in the area, just given geographically where this is. And then adding on that, I can say without asking for location, there will be fewer trucks because of the charter.
We have water managers that handle, it's not like, we're gonna have trucks showing up to like go through a McDonald's drive-through. We have, contracts and there's coordination to make sure that we are operating at volumes that we are equipped to handle. And, we don't like to have trucks just lining up down the street. And, in the life cycle of the well, most of the wells that have been drilled and completed right now are probably only moving about 1 or 2 loads a day. Now, we do have a significant increases when new wells are brought online and you're getting the flow back water. So there's going to be significant water and different trucks that are going to be on the road. And now, for the charter road operations, that, as we stated, we have the mechanism in place. We have one pipeline already in the ground. We've got easements in place that we can get our second well tied to the disposal of all of the pipeline. And then our third location, which is outside of the city limits, but still we will pipeline that water too. Now, could some other operators tie in based on their proximity to one of those? Yes. And we stated that that would be our preference, but it's not a commitment that we would make that would be a guarantee, because that's an economic consideration.
Well, I think one thing we'll just note here is we will not allow trucks to stack on 24th Street. So if that happens, we will get them those. So that, I think, helps solve that problem. And we've had some trucks stacked before on drilling locations or adjacent to that, and that's something we're not going to allow anymore. So I don't think that'll be a problem. The location with the hill there, the safety involved in having trucks in there, that's not something we're going to allow. So I don't think that will be an issue. If it becomes an issue, we'll address it at that point in time.
And Mr. Mayor, you and I know that we spent quite a few hours on our ordinances. We're pretty familiar with that section of setbacks and everything. We're pretty familiar with the fact that we have the right to adjust that. So my comments a few moments ago was even regardless of this facility, I was making a statement. I want us to take steps that do not necessarily open us up to making adjustments for future oil wells. So I was generally supportive of this, but I was asking, in my mind, we're approving it because of the existing board that's there. And so I can support that. I just, if we have rewarded, I just want to make sure that future requests that come in, there will be a dozen other requests asking us to make that same adjustment and reminding us of our own ordinances that we can change it as a council, and we know that. But I don't want us to, I don't want us to, unless we absolutely necessary or unless we have a really unique situation like we have here. So, I'm supporting. I think it's the thing to do. I think we know that we're very familiar with the OCC well, approving these. So if we have to do it by making an adjustment to the setback, I just want us to be sure to note that it is because, in my mind, it's because it's an existing board.
And I agree as well. If this was a proposed new well, I wouldn't support it of that. It would be setback.
If I may just want to, sake of good housekeeping, bring up the kind of an error in the way that the ordinances are written and relating to if we were trying to get a new well drilled, just the permitting requirements through the OCC for a disposal well requires there a well to be there. So the way that your ordinance is reading, we could not drill or put down a well run the different, we have to show bond logs, you have to perforate it, you have to perform these step rate tests, you would have to drill and spend a significant amount of money into getting it operational to show what the OCC, UIC department would approve on rates and pressures. So you kind of have no place to start as the way the ordinances are written. Just if we were, or if this was talking about or not, but a new well to be drilled, there's just no place to start because you require that you have all of the permits from the OCC before you can appear before the city council to get that location approved. If you're kind of following the circuit for a lot of alluding to right now, that was more just a housekeeping thing. As I was considering.
That's good to know. We're running some coaching from our council on that. If we have an ordinance that is not going to hold up.
I'm just, alluding that you can't get the OCC stuff done without drilling and doing all the work you have to do.
Any additional questions or comments from council? If not, I'll open up for public comment. Is there any public comment concerning this agenda item?
Yes, I did. I just wanted to mention there was some discussion at planning commission, and I neglected to include that. There was some discussion about a sound wall, but there are electric motors, and so it's not like a crafting operation, and fencing. And they did say, the one person in this bond that I spoke to had requested that she didn't understand the color of the tanks. She favored more a neutral earth tone color, and I believe that was mentioned at planning commission as well, and that they said they had no issue painting those things.
Well, to be clear, we will paint it. So we already have it ordered that we're going to paint the steel oil tanks. The other tanks are fiberglass, and we would be out there painting it every month if that was required. So
we do get to pick the color of the paint of the.
if you want it like school colors, but
Has to be red.
American Project, right?
Hey, or have a razor blue.
We might do that.
Probably a neutral color to pass the neighbors would be.
Yeah.
Would be better.
paint our oil tanks.
And we need your blessing so we can get electricity out there and get it running. And that's all we need. The OEC's already got the lines all set. All they need is 1 meter.
I also did want to mention Councilmember Reed's comment about that well bore is there. That was approved in 2011, but the UPLRs, and what's good about the conditional use permit is you can make those conditions. And because that wasn't a condition when that UPLR was approved, it didn't have the condition that this could be a saltwater injection well. This was a oil and gas producing well. So it didn't have that. That's the whole reason that this actually has had to come back to the planning commission and the city council. And as he did say, our ordinance talks about drilling and production, but it also does say injection included in that. And that's why the setbacks pertain to this. However, the mayor's correct and the ordinance, and it's for good reason that that's put there to give some flexibility and the 250 feet. I will say, looking at the site, there's a lot of vegetative growth to the south and to the west. There's a buffer between that pad site and those neighboring properties.
Any other comments? Anybody? All done? We'll entertain a motion.
Go ahead and buy it. I'll make a motion to approve. Start.
If you want to add any conditions,
Yes, any conditions coming from planning and public council.
at least conditions on part of planning's recommendation.
Part of it, that motion failed, so they would have to be restated as far as the truck route for third party, that they would be supplied that truck route. I think that truck route snow stacking on 24th Street. That annual report is provided. She said there's a monthly report, but we could ask for it annually. And then we have the meeting of the thing.
And Mike, are you making this according to our current ordinances with the exception as well?
Yeah.
So you're making it with that and also the things to think about.
Planning that they
Okay. I'll check.
didn't pass.
I'll say,
Motion second for approval of item number 6F with conditions.
Mike Fullerton,
yes.
Kimberly Sutton, Gene Reed,
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 7, discussion of possible action on scheduling meeting place, dates and times for regular meetings of the Newcastle City Council.
I make a motion to approve item 7.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 7.
Mike Fullerton,
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton, Gene Reed,
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 8, discussion of possible action on appointment of Mark Woody and Chief Responsible of the American Financial Advisors, advisor of record for the City of Newcastle and PWA Retirement Savings Plan.
Motion to approve item 8.
Motion second for approval of item number 8.
Mike Fullerton.
Yes.
Kimberly Sutton, Gene Reed,
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 9, city manager's comments.
Just want to make a quick comment that we are watching the G9 and Jeanette are watching the budget very closely with the sales tax numbers that have came in over the last 4 months. This month, November, they went up just a little bit as compared to last month, but they are still below our budget, 2.62% below budget. So that's another half percent below. So we're watching it closely and timing it, the timing on it as far as if we have to, we're going to adjust revenues and at the same time we have to adjust operational budgets. And all department heads have been discussed. We've discussed this with all department heads. That's all.
Item number 10, council member comments. Item number 11 is adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion second for adjournment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for your help on the technology, appreciate it. And for the tables.